I fell in love with the idea, and especially with the fact that people told me it will never work. It did work, and the rest was history. And then I met another person, a great guy whose name is Noam Bardin, who spoke with me about voice over IP. And we said, great, let's do it. And people thought we are crazy. We're sitting in train stations or airports and speaking to a computer, because we came with this assumption that phone calls are extremely expensive. And if we'll be able to do it over the internet, then we'll reduce costs. And we did it, by the way.
Welcome to 20-Minute Leaders. Just sit back, relax, and learn from the leaders of today. It's a journey. Each one is different, unique, inspiring. Let's get started. 20-Minute Leaders is a proud supporter of Make-A-Wish Israel and Tech to Peace, and is in proud collaboration with Secret Chord Ventures, J Ventures, Riverside FM, Fusion VC, Birthright Excel, J Impact, Leap, Google for Startups, and Hippo, and in media partnership with CTech. I'm really excited to understand this incredible journey that you're on. I mean, just going over the incredible projects that you've done. I'm putting aside the financial upsides, and I'm putting aside, the titles and the recognition, the technologies that you've been a part of, and the pioneering work of breaking barriers and breaking, conceptions and glass ceilings. It's something that I'm very excited to hear your story, and thank you for giving me time. I know you're very busy, and so I really appreciate these 20 minutes with you. And so the only thing that I can ask is, tell me your story. Thank you for being here.
Oh, thank you. It's a great pleasure. So, I will start with an end in the beginning. So today I'm managing ThetaRay, amazing company, very deep level of AI. In a way similar to generative AI with 19 patents, developed by two amazing professors. One of them got the Golden Medal of Science by President Clinton for this work. Today, our technology, and I'll tell you more about the company later, monitors 11 billion transactions a year, more than 1 billion customers, and overall about $15 trillion, helping financial institutions all around the world to move money in a much more secure way. And in a way, we created a category leadership in a new category called Trusted Global Payments. But it started some time ago. I was 7.5 years in the Israeli military. Some might say too many years. And one of the things I was responsible there is bringing internet to the IDF. When I left the military, internet was just the beginning. So we built a company called SkyVision, which became, I think, the largest internet service provider in this region. I always joke that it was so new. People said that it's so unnecessary. Israelis couldn't even pronounce internet. For those who know Hebrew, they said they used to say interten, which sounds much more Hebrew.
Wait, Mark. We can't just gloss over this. The story of NetVision. You're sitting here in the 90s, and you're in Israel, and you're post-IDF, and there's this thing called connected world, the World Wide Web is just starting. What's happening? I mean, I know a lot of people who were around in the 90s. I don't know many people who were directly involved with helping this thing scale to the masses. What was happening there?
So I think that I always had this weakness to practical technologies, because it was a great technology. I love the research. But I found that the world can be much better and more convenient place. I thought about the fact that I'm sitting in Tel Aviv or Haifa, and I can easily connect to New York. That time it took only 2 minutes So obviously chat was not possible to send an email. And in addition, I really love converting, monetizing technology. And I believe that if technology can solve a real need, then the monetization is easy. So that's how it started. It really excited me.
Wait. That's a big statement. If technology solving a real need, monetization is easy. It sounds like sort of like an axiom that you've taught yourself in the back of your head. What stands behind the sentence?
So I believe that people are willing to pay for value. If people get real value, they will do it. And technology should solve some gap, some real need, sometimes pain, sometimes desire, that people will be willing to pay because the money that they pay will be, in their view, less valuable than what they're getting. Obviously, the biggest challenge is taking the technology, finding the right product market fit, finding where is the desire, and then providing exceptional level of service. Now, I love technology, especially technologies that come from the defense applications, such as the AI we're using right now, such as internet. That time, because on one hand, it's crazy. People think that it will never work, so there's less competition. Let's face it, I don't want to work too hard with the competition. And on the other hand, if the technology has been proven in some defense application, then the high chances are that the technology is working. Also, we'll talk a little bit about talent, about people I can trust, about people that are better than me, can help me if they're already using this technology somewhere, in this case in the area of defense. Then it will be easier to find great talent that will support me.
Okay, so back to NetVision, taking you back to the 90s, new concept, Inter 10 in Israel, and we're scaling it up. What's happening there?
Absolutely. So I fell in love with the idea, and especially with the fact that people told me it will never work. It did work, and the rest was history. And then I met another person, a great guy whose name is Noam Bardin, who spoke with me about voice over IP. And we said, great, let's do it. And people thought we are crazy. We're sitting in train stations or airports and speaking to a computer, because we came with this assumption that phone calls are extremely expensive. And if we'll be able to do it over the internet, then we'll reduce costs. And we did it, by the way. Suddenly people from Afghanistan could speak with a beloved in Pakistan, and without paying $8 a minute, which was like a monthly fee there. But people thought we were crazy, like sitting and speaking to a computer. By the way, if you think about it, Michael, that's what you and I are doing right now. So it's mainstream. The same way as internet became mainstream, voice over IP became mainstream. The company went public. Everybody was happy. And obviously, great value, nice monetization. And again, this is now a mainstream technology.
Wow. Okay. And so, taking for a second, putting a spotlight on these two cases, what was common about them is that they were both pioneers in consumer behavior, and then you had to climb over some glass ceiling or climb over some hill. Can you reflect back on what that felt like? Being an entrepreneur on something that other people are looking at and saying, "Why do we need this?" Or this doesn't really make sense. This is not mainstream.
Yeah, so, I started pretty early, and I get used to the fact that people will look at me and tell me, look, kid, you don't really understand. A, nobody needs it. B, it doesn't really work. And C, even if people need it and it does work, nobody will buy it from you. Some big guys will be able to take over your market. And then just not giving up, and bringing people, inspiring them, showing them the vision, showing them what's possible. And then slowly but surely, if you don't give up and you provide good service, it becomes a reality. And, I can take a third company, and it's also, sort of making use of the opportunities. We're now speaking in just the beginning of 2023, we're in the midst of the crisis. And Churchill said that it's a shame to waste a good crisis. So if you remember, late 2002, a big crisis, .com collapses. There was a bunch of capacity satellites in the sky, and we decided to take a bunch of satellites, move them over Africa and the Middle East, and bring secure satellite communication to those areas. Now, I've never been to Africa. I've never been to the Middle East that time, and you see my smile. I really enjoy doing things that I've never done. So we moved there, and within a few years, the company became $100 million revenue company. Extremely profitable, by the way. There's a rare situation where startups distribute dividends to the shareholders. But we also made the world a much, much better place. Yes, we connected banks, allowing them to make more money. We connected governments, allowing them to produce a better service to the customers. But one story that really inspired me that time is a customer called Matcha Malaria. A paying customer, and we connected them to the internet. And when I visited them, they told me the story about kids that mothers brought from all over Africa with malaria. And usually they were taking a blood sample, sending them once a week over the plane. Most of the cases was impossible, getting answers within a month, which is, you can imagine was too late. And suddenly they have internet connectivity, satellite connectivity. They got donation, this beautiful machine that makes blood sample and transmits the results to the World Health Organization within minutes. And then within a day, 24 hours, they can get an answer and save kids. So, building a company that's extremely profitable, distribute dividends, but also saving lives, it's a big bonus. It's a very nice combination. And again, it was making the impossible possible. Obviously, it became a really great operation. And then I took a company that works in the world of intelligence services, a little bit more classified, and helping governments that collect so much information to find bad guys. Historically, it's not a secret. Snowden discovered it. Governments were sort of listening to your phone calls and, trying to transcribe them, reading your SMSs. But now the situation is totally different. You have WhatsApp and Facebook and LinkedIn and Passport and you name it. So the amount of information is endless. And it was clear that human beings cannot deal with it anymore. So that's where I discovered the world of AI. And we did an amazing job. It was a turnaround, turned the company around from a loss leader to a profit leader, sold it to one of the largest defense companies in the world, I would say. A great outcome. And as I said, I love taking those type of technologies and moving them to the world of commercial services. So that's how I was introduced to these two amazing professors. By the way, I think I do have a vision. Unfortunately, I don't think that I have great technical ideas. So I always find great, smart people that bring the technology, bring the idea, and I try to help them to do customization, to do monetization of their technology. My passion is to convert technology into money and value. So I met these two amazing professors who created amazing technology to identify, believe it or not, cancer using blood samples. Obviously, it wasn't the right product market fit, but they literally managed to mimic the intuitive way very experienced doctors work. And I said, look, that's exactly what government agencies were working for. Let's take this technology and build a company. And of course, nobody believed at the beginning that it's possible. So we had to solve very painful problems. We don't do it right now. Well, the first problem we solved was helping General Electric to protect nuclear facilities. If you're familiar with Stuxnet stories, etc., how do you discover Stuxnet attack? You need to understand how centrifuges work. Now, obviously, we don't want to help Iranians, but it's a long story, and we don't have time for that. But eventually, Stuxnet was discovered, and then Iranians attacked Aramco. Again, cybersecurity attack. It was GE customer. They needed some solution. We helped them to solve it. And then later on, Singapore Airlines approached us. We found solutions to some threats with airplanes, making nice money, but it wasn't scalable. But at least we could show that it's working. And then we did a very thorough work trying to see where is the real pain, where we can really help, and which organizations would be willing to pay for it. And we found, of course, that the world of payments and the world of financial institutions, it's a best place for us to provide value, and that's what we do right now. So it was almost a monologue. I will stop here and let you ask some questions.
I have about 1 million, but that's the truth. But I'm already writing them down for me to ask you in person when we're gonna meet very soon, as we discussed. Now I'm nailing it in. But
now you've done it for record. Everybody sees
now
it.
That's it. I want to spend a few minutes. I know I also want to talk about ThetaRay, but I want to to talk about cyber and AI. You know, what's happening? You've led cyber divisions in multinational companies with billions of dollars under management. You're now leading an AI company that's all about creating trust in this new environment. What's happening with cyber and AI as you've experienced over these last few decades, these things sort of intersecting?
So here's the really cool stuff. And those who listen to this podcast, guys, you are living in the best time possible. Because the same revolution that happened to the internet 23 years ago is happening now to financial institutions. If you think about it, cyber criminals started by defacing websites, stealing some information, but now it's all about money. They would like to make money, and they sell and then send those phishing emails, hoping to make some money, etc. I made a very interesting panel, moderated a very interesting panel with heads of police departments, including the Interpol cyber department, and it was a clear understanding that the most profitable job in the criminal world and the safest one is to be financial cyber criminal, because you sit somewhere in a remote place, nobody sees you, you steal money from financial institutions, and if they get you or catch you, you just disconnect the line and disappear. So I think that today, 99% of financial crime is basically cyber financial crime. Yes, it involves a little bit of social engineering, but the best is to steal bits. And people think that when we talk about digital currency, that it's Ethereum or Bitcoin or other cryptocurrencies. But no, today dollars and shekels and euros are all digital. There are more digital dollars than printed dollars, and there's much less gold. So if you think about it, especially post-COVID-19, nobody goes to a branch of a bank with a M16 or Uzi or some weapon and try to shoot or scare the clerks. You just take into account, move money, steal money. By the way, it's also the same in the world of governments. They need to finance their activities. North Korea started by hacking to the SWIFT network and stealing $80 million to finance themselves. There are no Russian sanctions right now. People thought it's a nuclear option. They will disconnect Putin and there is no way he will be able to transfer money. We all see him buying drones from Iran, selling oil, because as one of my customers said, SWIFT is a very limited network. Putin, when he transfers money, doesn't say first name Vladimir, last name Putin, address 1 Red Square Moscow. So the people who cannot do business on SWIFT are those poor little guys. Big guys know how to circumvent it. And now the punchline. So SWIFT, the 50 years old network, is exactly where the internet was when people suddenly realized that your IP address is not secure and your email address is not necessarily identify you. And then there was a need to create firewalls and checkpoint was established, etc. Now we're facing exactly the same situation with financial institutions. It's difficult to move money. There is no trust. And that's why companies like ThetaRay flourish by basically building these firewalls that can monitor financial transactions.
Trust, creating trust in this new world. What does that mean for you?
So think about yourself trying to transfer money from one country to another. By the way, did you ever try to do it personally?
Yeah, it's a long process.
It's a long process. It's a nightmare. It will cost you probably $30, $40. It will take 2-3 days. Yeah, it's crazy. It should take 5 seconds, cost 5 cents. It's digital. It's less data than an email with an attachment. And it takes so much time because it's dangerous. Let's assume that you are in United States and you want to transfer money to somebody in Nigeria. How your bank in the United States know that this person in Nigeria is a genuine person? And how the recipient bank in Nigeria knows that you are a great guy, which is you are, Michael, and not some human trafficker? They don't. So they created a lot of policies and procedures that make it very, very difficult for banks. It's very scary because if they fail, then they pay a huge amount of fines, billions of dollars, and it doesn't really work. So they try to go through the risking, which means that they will reject accounts, they will make life hell for you, and that's what all the people seen. we totally changed it. We understood that the same as in the world of internet, there was a revelation that your IP address is not really a good identifier, and your email address is also not a good identifier. There is a need to look at each and every, they call it packet in the internet, each and every transaction, and identify, is it valid or not, is it kosher or not. We did the same for financial institutions. And again, when we said we're going to do it, people said it's impossible because the normal way to create trust was what they call KYC, know your customer. So you go into a branch of a bank, show your ID, they know who you are. The guy in Nigeria goes to their bank, show their ID, and they know who that person is. And if somebody would like to create fake IDs, it was possible, but it was difficult if you want to open 10 million accounts. Now it's all digital. Now it's all on the web. Now it's all online. So today you don't really need to print 10 million fake IDs. You just hack into some bank that is on a Swift network, create 10 million accounts, and then each account will transfer only $10. But if you have 10 million accounts, although each account will transfer the money under the radar, you have $100 million moving in. So yeah, that's what we did. People thought it's impossible. It was one entity can transfer millions of transactions. We said it's possible, and we said we're gonna get our AI to do it. And today, we work in a Gulf as well, in UAE. So I can say, inshallah, we said, inshallah, people will accept us. And now, alhamdulillah, people did accept us. The largest banks of the world is working with us, fintechs, etc. And as you can see, I love these impossible stories because of the technology, because of the acceptance, because of the value, and especially because of the people that do it with me. Because you understand that I need to find people that are better than me professionally and as crazy as me when it comes to going through these obstacles and being unstoppable.
That's amazing. Mark, I'm already booking you for another episode to diving into a few of the items that you've brought up, but these were 20 amazing minutes, all the way starting back from this idea of, you know, being a pioneer for these technologies, overcoming these obstacles, providing inspiration for those around you, and then seeing those solutions implemented in the wild and seeing them, you know, grow to become some staples of mainstream society, and the transitions and evolution that you've made in the cyber and AI space, and obviously today with what you're doing at the most cutting edge scene of fintech and AI and trust. And so things that I'm deeply excited and passionate about. And so really thank you very, very much. I appreciate your
Michael,
time.
if I can add one last sentence, because I know about your passion and the way you see AI. I have to say something. Many people tell me, look, Mark, this is such a powerful AI. Isn't it dangerous? And I just want to say one thing. You know, every new invention, people said it's dangerous. When print was created, people said, that's it. It's the end of human memory. When phone was created, people said, that's it. We will not meet each other anymore. When internet was created, everybody told me, look, you will not understand the language of your kids. And in a way, it's all true. But let's face it, it brought so many good things. And then the world of AI, I think because bad guys have been using AI for a while and they are using it, we as good guys have an obligation to build AI that will become our digital guard and will make our life and everybody's life better and much safer. And thank you for the opportunity to say it.
Mark, toda rabba. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you. Toda rabba, Michael.